Well, Iran isn't the only place filled with massive protests. As many of you are aware, Minnesota is also cracking under some insane protests. These are not peaceful protests in the slightest, no matter how many people try to lie and tell you that they are. Do not listen to it. There's a lot of proof as to why they are not peaceful protests, as to why these are just these at this point they're not even protests. They're just reasons to be out in the street and you're trying to look like a hero to everyone and you're not. So first, let's start with the Iran protest because there is an important connection to be made between the Iran protest and also the Minnesota protest. And if you look at them, you'll see similarities, but you're also going to see some major differences as to how the federal agents are taking care of it. So the government sent police in Iran versus the government sent police in America. Who's handling it better? And we're going to get into that today. So stay tuned to the very end because there's a lot to get to, and I will see you on the other side. As of January 15th, protests in Iran have been going on for 19 days. We're now January 17th, or that is the day in which I record. So a good stretch of time, basically 3 weeks. There have been over 3,000 confirmed deaths and 50,000 arrests reported by opposition groups. According to the Security Council report, security forces have used live fire, raided hospitals, and withheld bodies to coerce false narratives, surpassing the 2019 protest death roll. There were protests going on in 2019, very similar to this, and now we have already passed that death roll. A full week of internet blackout persists to suppress coordination with fears of resurgence during the February 17th mourning period or March Nowruz celebrations. At this comes partially because there's major economic crisis right now in Iran. Parliament rejected the 2026-2027 budget draft due to inflation risks, unrealistic revenues, and inadequate pay raises amid rival collapses and export shortfalls. Bazaars, which are like little shops, kind of like outdoor markets, defy the government with strikes, while water shortages, power outages, and pollution exacerbate hardships, fueling unrest. And of course, the government is doing a terrible job of leading with this because all they know how to do is kill the people that stand up against them. That is the type of regime that the Ayatollah is leading over Iran, and it has to be stopped at some point. But these people are going through the worst of the worst when it comes to, as far as economically speaking, they are not doing well. Okay, they are suffering greatly because of what they're going through, and it's not just during the protests, like what has happened to them during the protests that are bad, but also majorly what happened before the protest, what caused the protest, okay? And these are Iranian patriots, people that have gone out and they have said, I am against the way we are being treated, I am against these rules, I'm against these regulations, and you're going to see, I mean, the government has literally had the internet off in Iran for about 6 days. Internet off. So, anything we do in our day-to-day, most things require internet. At this point, we use it so much. Imagine just not having that, and then for 6 days. You cannot call people, nothing of the sort. So it is actually very hard at this point to get video out, as far as like a citizen, getting video out to people everywhere else in the world. It's very hard to have that and have like non-bias videoing as far as towards the government, because what you're getting right now is only really Iranian pushed news, and the problem with that is that you're only going to see the side that they want you to see. So you have to start looking deeper. You have to start looking for what the people are going through. The Iranian forces, these are Iraqi militias, they're disguised as pilgrims. They conduct mass arrests and executions ordered by judiciary chiefs. Supreme Leader Khamenei blames U.S. and Israel for thousands killed, framing the crackdown as anti-terrorism. But that's insane. That's insane that he would say that. He is the one executing his people simply for sharing their voice. As far as free speech goes, these people have done nothing wrong. In fact, as far as anything goes, they've been totally right in what they have done because they are legitimately allowed to use their voice to protest. Unfortunately, some countries, some regimes are entirely against that, and they want to crush that. They want to destroy it, and the best way possible for them to do that is to kill the people, okay, that are letting ideas live. And that is the most important part. What are ideas? What are when you allow an idea to grow, it's a free country, it's a free world, and people can say what they like. And when they do that, the dangerous part is that the idea spreads. And if it's a good idea, and if it's the right idea, and if it's an idea that uncovers lies and wrongdoings, people will be mad. The evil people in this world will be very angered by that and frustrated and mad that their secrets have been uncovered. So that's why they have to nip ideas at the bud, and that's what they're doing. But of course, to the rest of the world, everyone's looking at it, and nobody's thinking, oh, Iran, you're doing an amazing job cutting down on these protests, these terrorists. No one's thinking that. The entire world hates Iran, well, at least its leadership right now, because of what they're doing. And that's just incredibly clear. And the most unfortunate part is that Iran is still doing it. The Iran leaders are still fighting their own people. And these are people who do not have weapons. They cannot defend themselves. They have gone out to the streets to say what they believe is right, and they're being executed for it. But the important part, and the very interesting part, is that Trump has not allowed this to just go on. He is not okay with it in the slightest. Trump posted on Truth Social. He says, Iranian patriots, continue protesting. Seize your institutions. Assistance is on its way. He didn't specify any details. We were waiting on that. Earlier, January 2nd, he warned that if Iran violently kills peaceful protesters, the U.S. stands locked and loaded and ready to go. According to the Security Council report, on January 13th, he described the situation as fragile and affirmed a response after receiving intelligence briefings. So Donald Trump is ready to go for the people of Iran, and rightly so. He needs to be, and he should, because even though you are the president of America, and right, America comes first, we all understand this, the biggest issue is that when other free people are attacked, and when other people are attacked for standing up for ideals that you agree with, then you should help them, because that not only bolsters how people look at you, but it also very much shows that you're consistent with what you believe, that you're consistent with what the things you've said. So it lines up right the way it should. The White House has stated that all options remain on the table if killings continue. Fresh sanctions were issued on January 15th over protest violence. But there's been a lot of talk about strikes on Iranian leaders. That Khomeini, I mean, okay. The Ayatollah is a dirty man. He's literally, if the devil was incarnate, it would not be much different. This man mass murders and has no feelings about it. He does not care. He's a selfish, immoral, wicked, disgusting man. And he needs to be terminated. He needs to be ended. You cannot allow someone murdering thousands of people to just go. Let alone, if you take... Okay, I'm for a person who wrongfully kills one person. Just kills one person wrongfully in cold blood. I am absolutely for that person receiving the death penalty. I believe that's what it should be. A life for a life. That is how it should work. And now imagine someone killing thousands. That's a totally different story. And that is just terribly evil. So he deserves to be terminated as fast as possible. Not only does he deserve that, but that is most helpful to the people of Iran to not have a leader like that. I mean, we saw what happened to Venezuela. American forces went and removed the leader. Everyone's happy. Okay? Now the U.S. can institute a good leader. Someone who truly cares about the Venezuelan people. It's the same thing in Iran. Now, the supreme leader, Khomeini, he labeled Trump as a criminal for casualties and damage. He accused him of orchestrating the unrest as an American plot to devour Iran. What? Like, actually, what on earth? Actually, what on earth is going on? You can't just turn... That's not how life works. Life does not work that way. You can't just turn something on someone else because you're the one doing it. Okay? You can't just turn a situation on someone else and say, it's them. You can't just blame someone and then everything's fine. If you're doing it, you're doing it. And that just is how it works. Okay? Khamenei has literally arrested and executed thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. This is not an American plot to devour Iran. That is... It is so, in fact, the opposite. Okay, he called Trump a criminal for the casualties and damages in his country when he is the one murdering people. Okay? Again, nobody believes this. Nobody just looks at Khamenei and says, you are right. You have the truth. We all just need to stop and listen to you. And if anyone does do that, they are absolutely cuckoo in the head, because that is just, I mean, it takes a very low IQ to think on that level. Very, very low IQ. How are the police in Iran dealing with this? Okay, they're slaughtering people. There have been videos released, citizens filming of police in Iran just shooting into crowds. Okay, I've watched it and I know exactly what's going on, and it's I can't show it here because for many reasons, but I am very aware of the terrorists those people are going through. They are handling it wrong. That is wrong. That is not how you treat this at all. Again, I can't say enough to as to how wrong it is and how right it is for Trump to intervene. I cannot really say enough words to explain how I feel about that. But if you look over at Minnesota, across the water a bit, you'll see there's also tons of protesting going on there, but for totally different reasons, and it's being treated in totally different ways. And the protesters themselves are protesting for it. I mean, just it's a wild difference, even though it is on the same lines. I mean, it's protesting. Okay, let's get into this really fast. The Feeding Our Future scheme defrauded $250 million in USDA child nutrition funds by fabricating 91 million meals through 250 plus fake sites run by Somali-linked operators, resulting in 78 indictments and numerous convictions, including luxury assets forfeitures. This is from CNN. This is CNN, okay? CNN, who hates anything that makes the left look bad, hates anything that makes immigrants look bad, anything. They are clearly stating facts right here. $250 million in fraud. And this is run by Somali-linked people. This is my biggest point. We need Americans running America again. That is what we need. You should not have Somalis, especially Somalis, that you do not know if they have a fully functioning citizenship in America, okay? Which is something many do not have. They are illegal. They should not be here. They're going to crash our country like this and just come here for fraud. They are out, okay? We do not welcome them. They are not here, okay? I am all for peaceful immigrants coming in legally, the way they should, and doing their job and moving America forward. But if they come here, they need to live like an American and not change the culture of America. Okay, this is America. This is a free country. This was built on American shoulders. And it is not going to be just robbed by people who do not carry any of our ideals, any of the things that we have preserved so far, any of the things we care about, any of those morals, the values. It's just wrong. And do not make America a third world country. Okay? Do not do that. And that is what's going on here. And then they just come in and commit fraud. They just come in and steal from our people. They rob from the Americans. I could just keep going. There's $9 billion in fraud via ghost daycares and providers like Guardian Home Health. A man named Mohammed Abdirashid Omarexid had a $3 million theft. And then the Trump administration, of course, froze child care payments because it's all just going into trash. And then they went after $80 million plus for recovery. And what has the great Governor Tim Walz done for his people? Nothing at all. He's ignored. The fraud has gone on under him, and nothing at all. Just nothing. Just sitting over it. Goodness gracious. And Tim Walz is the guy who will get all mad about ICE taking immigrants out, people that are illegal. So taking illegal aliens out. He's the guy who'll get mad about that, try to tell the people, oh, it's just the worst thing ever. And then he preside over billions in fraud like this. I mean, that's insane. Okay, you can't be much more hypocritical than that. And then, fraud isn't the only thing going on in Minnesota. Okay, and believe it or not, the people are not protesting about the fraud. Okay, they're not protesting about the families who lost thousands in childcare. They're not talking about that. That's not what they're protesting. They're not getting all mad about that. You know what they're mad about? They're mad about ICE agents going in and doing their job, taking out bad people, taking out illegal people, people who have broken law. That's what they're protesting. Okay? Americans going to the street to protest Americans taking bad people out. That's what they're protesting. And then on January 7th, Jonathan Ross, he's an ICE agent, in self-defense, shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. Okay? People will try to claim that she was doing nothing. Okay? CNN says, okay, and they gotta paint the picture pretty. Jonathan Ross fatally shot 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, a poet and mother of three, 4 times, including a head wound, while she sat in her car observing raids in South Minneapolis. I cannot believe this load of absolute dirt they are just spilling everywhere. Goodness. So first, gotta talk. She was a poet. That's what she was. Just something beautiful, so beautiful. And a mother of 3. What? Just okay. I get it. Okay. My condolences go to those kids. That is terrible. That should never have happened. That pain, I can't imagine. I truly feel so bad for that. But CNN is saying these things so that you take her side. And then they lie to you while she sat in her car observing raids in South Minneapolis. This woman was holding up traffic, getting in the way of an officer's investigation for minutes upon minutes. Then, when they tried to open her car to get her out, to arrest her, okay, there was not going to be any issues. They were literally going to detain her, talk to her. The ICE agent, Jonathan Ross, is in front of her, and she puts her foot on the gas, about to run over this policeman, and he shoots her in self-defense. And they're going to watch the video. I promise you. Just go watch the video. They're going to try and tell you she was just sitting there. It was not self-defense. It was murder in cold blood. They are lying to your face. And CNN does this a lot. Okay? A lot. Like, uncountable. They lie so much that I would lie if I tried to say how many times they lie. Which is an insane train of thought if you get on it. But my point is, they're just going to make it look so against the ICE agents, the men who are trying to do their job, the people who are doing what's right. That's what their goal is, to make them look bad. And that is wrong, okay? That is biased. This was a thought I had earlier. Where is the unbiased news gone? Okay, I understand. You lean more towards one side of the aisle, but you do not have to give your news through that filter. At least make it quite clear which side you are on, okay? And that is not what that is done here. Protests just erupt everywhere, okay? Protests erupt everywhere. 10,000 people on January 10th with vandalism, pepper spray, What? When Charlie Kirk died, okay, a man who built the legacy of conservatism, he was just a monument. You know how we showed our pain and sadness? We just went to candlelit memorials. We sat around, we thought about him, we prayed for his family, we cared about him, we talked about it, we kept his memory around. We in death, it is disrespectful to do this in their name. That is disrespectful. When someone dies, it is a solemn moment, not a moment to take up arms and freak out like total morons. Okay, over someone who tried to hit a police with their car. And ICE agents are literally being assaulted. They're having to defend themselves. Let the federal workers do their job. Okay. An ICE agent had to shoot a man in the leg during an assault because Venezuelan immigrants that were wielding tools came at him while he was fighting another guy who had attacked him. Like, how moronic does this get? How moronic? How stupid can people be? To take the side of these people. They're not even Americans. It's Venezuelans. Like, what? Trump threatened the Insurrection Act for military deployment if state officials failed to protect ICE, posting on Truth Social about professional disruptors. Walz, of course, is calling ICE these wicked, terrible people. Just horrible, horrible. ICE is the worst. And it's so dumb, so dumb. He has truly infected, I should say, Minnesota in a terrible way. And he's a lying, deceiving man. And he's not going to be around for long as far as on the political stage because nobody wants to listen to him anymore. He just spouts out lies. So while billions is being stolen under his nose, he wants to defend one woman who was shot driving her car at an ICE officer. A really good look for you. A really good look for you, Walz. You're a terrible governor. You're terrible. You're terrible. And so is the mayor of Minneapolis. All these people. Terrible. Ilhan Omar, who tries to act like justice is beating up people who are doing their job. AOC, who cries and whines. Bernie Sanders, I mean, we don't know where his brain is, but all these people, all they do is hate good. They just hate it. There's so much proof for it, too, that it's overwhelming. And I would hope that anyone who disagrees with me would make that clear and make it clear as to why these people want good. Because everything I've analyzed, they do not want what's good. And yes, I'm fallible, and yes, I could be wrong. But from my studies, these are people who hate what's good. And now we're going to have to see where this goes and what evolves from this, both in Iran and Minneapolis. But the ICE agents are doing their job. They're doing good things. And the Iranian police are doing it badly. There's a huge difference. Take the right side. Just do it. Always choose the truth. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.